Hello, and welcome to a new series called Quick Fix. Quick Fix is basically where we take a piece of a costume and make it more expensive using methods that are both cheap and quick. Today's Quick Fix piece is going to be this Biohazard mask. Because of the Biohazard theme, I'm going to do some burn scars or acid scars around the perimeter of the mask so it makes a more intense, creepy look. Let's go check it out. The supplies I'm going to use for this video are petroleum jelly, liquid latex, any sort of burn or bruising makeup wheel, fresh scab, both stipple and wedge sponges, scissors, and for some added effects, what I call first aid tape. Okay, so here we are. I've never actually talked into a mirror, so this is going to be an interesting experiment on whether or not I can actually do this. We'll see how it goes. The first thing you want to do is try your mask on and see how much of your face that it covers, see how much space you got to work with. Alright, so with it put on my face, I have quite a bit of space to work around the edges here and above on the forehead. The jaw is pretty much covered, which is fine. I have all this space around here that I'll be doing. The next thing you're going to want to do is mark out where on your face the mask sits so that you can start doing your makeup effects around that. I forgot to mention that I'm going to be using a brush. In order to do that, you're going to need that in the supplies as well. So what you're going to do is you're going to take, say, your red, because you're going to be using red later on. You're going to just do a little bit of that. And then you're going to mark where on the mask, both in the eyes, and you also want to go around the outsides too. That way, when you take the mask off, it should look like this, and you have a good outline of where to start doing your makeup. As an extra bit to this makeup tutorial, I'm actually going to tape down my ear so that I can make it look more like a burnt effect over on this side of my face. So with that, I'm going to take the first aid tape, and I'm going to start taping down my ear. This tape should blend in very well with the liquid latex we're going to use, and so it'll look like the entire side of the face is just scarred and burned. Next, we're going to take the petroleum jelly and put it all around the hairline. That way, the liquid latex doesn't stick to your hair and get stuck. It's kind of a real pain in the ass when it does that. The added bonus of the Vaseline is that it makes your hair look kind of sweaty and greasy, which is really nice for villains because they look kind of sweaty and greasy. I don't know how far back I'm going to put the liquid latex here, so we're just going to get it all covered. The important thing to do with the lines here, now that you have them, is make sure you actually go beyond the outlines here under the mask. That way it looks like a seamless transition between these scars and the mask, and it doesn't look like it just ends right here at the mask line. Now that you've got that done, you can start using liquid latex. Now you can apply as little or as much liquid latex as you want. We're going a little bit generous here, just to get, interesting designs and effects. I forgot to put the Vaseline on my beard. That's going to suck later. I'm going to do a quick run of the Vaseline on my eyebrows, since I like my eyebrows and don't want to lose parts of them. So the reason I chose liquid latex is that when it dries, it looks really good with scarring effects, and it can add a nice skin melty texture to things. You can make this dry quicker using a hairdryer on a low setting, but while it's drying, we're actually going to do the inside of the eyes to be more efficient. The same way I start out most any bruising or burnt effects is I take the stipple brush, and I use it with the red, and I get a little bit of burnt blood vessels going on inside the area here. Now, honestly, with the mask, once again, you're not going to be able to see too much detail in here, so you can just add reds and blacks and any other colors you want to add in for effect, and don't worry too much about the finer details unless you expect people to be looking right close into your eyes. Using my wedge brush, I'm actually going to take some purple, go with some bruising around here, just right under the eyelid here. That way you sort of have this dark, tired, my face was set on fire look. Get some blue in there as well. Adding some more maroon just around the eye. Now you have pretty good coverage here on the eye area. I'm going to add some more stipple just to make it pop a little bit more. Okay, now that the liquid latex has somewhat dried, I'm going to do a few things to make it look a little bit more torn or gross, or the flesh is torn up. You can either take the end of your brush or a popsicle stick or other item, and you just, run it through some of this latex and let it tear itself up. You want to make the latex look disturbed. This way it looks like the flesh is cracked and broken. And peeling off is an ideal vibe that you're going for. You can check to see which areas are dry by tapping on it. Obviously these sticky parts still need time to dry, but otherwise you're good to go. I'm going to let this area dry a little bit more while I work on this other side. Now you just start taking your reds, your blacks, and your maroons and start blending in these burnt up areas. The areas that have holes in them that you sort of tore, you're going to want to fill in with a darker black first, because these are the underlying deeper burnt areas. I also turn up the edges of some of my wedge sponges, that the way they get a more rough cut feel to it. So, starting with black. And once again with the makeup, you're going to want to go inside those outlined areas. That way it flows really well. Alright, then using the maroon again, just start going over the general tire torn up area. And then go back and finer detail on those more open spots. I'm just going to add a little bit down around the neck here, just so it adds a little bit more to the costume than just ending at the face. It's all about following through and making it look a little more seamless. Okay, so if you notice, I left this spot untouched. I want to get a feel for what was going on before tackling this spot here. So the tape meshed pretty well with the liquid latex. It doesn't pull as well, but that's fine. I'm going to mess this up a little bit. Let's start over here with the stipple sponge. While we're doing the stipple sponge over here, I'm just going to add a little bit more roughness over here to some of these spots. Black again. You want to cover up all of the liquid latex so that it doesn't look too pale. But yeah, and so I can't really see back here. I'm just going to do a little bit of that. Add a little bit of black for the back here, since I don't know what's going on. It's hard to see that spot in my ear. So you got a pretty good look going on right now. You look pretty roughed up. Now I'm going to put a little bit of fresh scab into some of the grosser areas to make it look like you have these gaping wounds open. Now that we've finished up putting fresh scab on, we're going to try the mask on and see how it looks. Alright, so moment of truth. Alright, so now that we have our mask on, we can see what it looks like. I'm going to look over here. If you notice, there's a little bit too much white showing here that I'm going to work on. And this side looks pretty good. I'm going to add a little bit more right here. But other than that, it looks pretty gross. It looks pretty gross. So I'm going to take the mask back off, and I'm going to add a little bit more. Let's just go with black. Black will be easiest. I'm going to add a little bit more black over here. Let's add some more black over here too. So now with those touch-ups, we're going to try the mask back on and see how it looks. Alright, and lastly with some touch-ups, I'm going to add a little bit of fresh scab right around the eyes. And if it gets on the mask, that's fine. You're wearing a bloody mask. It adds to the effect. And there you have it for the first quick fix bio mask, adding a little bit of blood and gore to any everyday situation. Thanks for watching.